Our story begins not in the smoky, crowded heat of a Lagos nightclub, but in the ordered, colonial comfort of Abeokuta, Nigeria, 1938. The boy was Olufula Olusegun Oluditon Ransom Kuti. His lineage was anything but ordinary. His father was a reverend, and his mother was the legendary Formileo Ransom Kuti, an anti-colonial firebrand, a feminist, and one of Nigeria's greatest activists. Fela was born into protest. The family sent him to London in 1958 to study medicine. He betrayed them, but he saved the world. Fela enrolled in the Trinity College of Music, preferring the trumpet to the scalpel. He formed his first band, the Kula Lobitos, mixing high life, the popular dance music of West Africa, with the complexity of American jazz. It was good. It was smooth. But it wasn't a weapon yet. The transformation happened in Los Angeles in 1969. Fela was touring, searching for his sound. He met a woman named Sandra Isidore. She was an African-American activist, connected to the Black Power movement. She didn't just talk about music, she talked about Malcolm X, the Black Panthers, and the global struggle against oppression. Fela, the educated son of activists, suddenly understood. His music was too polite. It lacked purpose. I was playing African music, but I didn't play African music. He packed up. He went home to Nigeria with a new mission. He dropped the colonial ransom. He changed his band's name to Africa 70. And he forged a sound that would shake governments, Afrobeat. Afrobeat was a fusion of rhythm and rage. It took the complex, interlocking percussion of Yoruba music, the energy of funk, the improvisation of jazz, and stretched it into 10, 20, 30-minute musical sermons. The groove was the container, the message was the fire. In 1970, Fela established his compound in Lagos as the Kolokuta Republic. He mockingly named it after a prison cell he'd briefly occupied, Kolokuta meaning Rascal's House. He declared it independent from the Nigerian military state. Kolokuta was a commune, a recording studio, a free clinic, and the home to his massive band and his wives, the Queens. And its capital was the African Shrine. This was Fela's stage, his parliament, his church. Every night, Fela, sweaty, charismatic, half-naked, with a cigarette dangling, would deliver his viobis, a theatrical, musical, hilarious, but little critique of the military rulers, known as the Beasts. His songs were uncompromising. Authority stealing, a direct attack on corruption. Colonial mentality, scorn for Africans who still revered Western culture over their own. Expensive Shit, a dark, hilarious song about a run-in with police who tried to frame him by forcing him to eat his own excrement to prove he wasn't carrying marijuana. The government hated it. The people adored it. Arrests were routine. Over 2 decades, Fela was jailed over 200 times. But his music became more aggressive, the stakes higher. He was not just singing about injustice, he was actively living his protest. In 1977, Fela released the album that sealed his fate and immortalized his defiance, Zombie. The track ridiculed Nigerian soldiers as mindless drones, blindly following orders. Narrator, delivering the lyrics in a mocking, rhythmic chant, Zombie, we oh, zombie, march straight, zombie, go and kill, zombie, we oh. The album was a smash hit, selling hundreds of thousands of copies, but it infuriated the then head of state, General Olusegun Obasanjo. The retaliation was swift and brutal. On February 18, 1977, 1,000 armed soldiers stormed the Kolokuta Republic. It was a military invasion of a small, independent state. They beat Fela mercilessly with rifle butts. They raped and assaulted the women. They destroyed his instruments, his recording studio, and his master tapes. They burned the compound to the ground. The tragedy peaked when Fela's 77-year-old mother, Formileo Ransom Kuti, was thrown from an upstairs window. She died from her injuries the following year. The official inquiry claimed the republic was destroyed by an unknown soldier. Fela's response was not surrender. It was the ultimate protest performance. He took his mother's coffin and delivered it to the gates of the Doden Barracks, the residence of the head of state, in a mournful, defiant procession. He released the song, Coffin for Head of State, turning the tragic loss into an eternal accusation. The violence failed to silence him. It only validated his message. Music was his weapon, and they feared it. His funeral was the greatest funeral Lagos had ever seen. Over 1 million people marched with his body, closing down the city. They were the people he had fought for, mourned by the people who understood that they had lost more than a musician, they had lost their prophet. Today, his sons, Femi Kuti and Son Kuti, carry the torch, still playing Afrobeat at the New African Shrine, ensuring the groove, the message, and the spirit of resistance never die. The complex, repetitive, beautiful, and angry sound that Fela forged is now a global language. It is sampled by hip-hop stars, studied by jazz musicians, and evolved by a new generation of Afrobeat artists who dominate world charts. But remember the source. Afrobeat is not just a beat to dance to. It is a history lesson, a warning, and a promise that the people's rhythm will always outlast the dictator's command.